What's up, guys? Well, I come at you with another video. Now, this series, Ghetto Dungeon build, is basically how to build dungeons with just a battle grid and improvised materials. So it's very basic, very easy to make dungeons with stuff around the house. I'm going to show you different scenarios, give you an idea of how to build them, what materials should be what, etc., etc. Now, you're getting a 2-for-1 with this first video. You see, what happened is I messed up the orientation on what was originally going to be this video, so I'm giving you 2 dungeons, and what was originally going to be the entire video is just going to be the second dungeon. When I put it in Movie Maker, it basically was this little thing about this big on the screen, and so I just turned it sideways so it takes up the entire screen now. So there's that. Anyways, without further ado, let's get this started. So this is my heavy wooded border skirmish. The easiest way to make a border between any two nations is just to draw a river on your map. Obviously you can just kind of slid a bit, but a lot of people will be like, "Oh, but it snakes there." Just say it continues off the map. Your player should understand. These are trees. In case you didn't notice, I actually have a few of the models on top of them because I like these little Jenga blocks. They've got nice flat tops. This would be the border side of a more lawful nation. You can tell the trees are nice and orderly. What they're doing is tree farming. They probably have a forestry service of druids or rangers or whatever that come in and basically, when trees are felled, they just replant them in a certain order to maximize trees per acreage or whatever and minimize chance of forest fire. So, bit of lore there. But the advantage to this is that over here you kind of just, it's kind of just random. These little crumpled up pieces of paper or brush, and it's pretty much easier to just crumple up a piece of paper than just, oh look, brush, difficult terrain, whatever. To give this look, what you do is, you see how all of them are facing this direction. That actually doesn't matter. It's a tree. It's, a tree. But when you just turn the blocks to face in different directions, it kind of gives this chaotic look to that side of the battlefield. The advantage to this over drawn maps, I think, aside from it just being easier to set up, because I hate vis-a-vis stuff, you can very clearly see that guy is line of sight on these two, just by kind of looking over his shoulder, but we can't see the knoll back there, so he doesn't have line of sight there. Same with this guy, I kind of have a little crossfire set up. This is great for an amateur. This guy, if you actually look over there, that one's got concealment behind the brush and coverage. That one doesn't, he's just going to get shot. I put a little rock there, just, in case someone wants to make it, doesn't feel like they can make the normal jump check or just wants to jump there. Kind of risky, kind of, high risk, high reward stuff. Maybe there's some floating debris there and you can kind of just push the block down as turns go. Stuff like that. There's different options for this too. Maybe the lawful nation, they don't really trust the people on the other side of the border, so actually, you should tell your players that you intentionally left that open because a watchtower will be built there. It's actually left open here because I ran out of blocks, but shh, the players don't need to know that. So, hey look, a watchtower. But Will, it doesn't have grid. Well, if you just kind of look at the model's base, that basically takes up a grid. So, you can fit about 4 models up here fairly comfortably. And, if that's a crossbow setup, sorry, I'm trying to look at what I'm doing while holding the camera. This is a crossbow setup. The 2 guys in the front will be firing, and they'll just pass the crossbow back to the guys in the back. Stuff like that. But, pretty easy setup. And again, this just gives a great vantage point across the entire battlefield. So, this is nice and neat and orderly. You can pretty much get line of sight across the forest fairly easily. I'd say that the trees offer cover and a height advantage and stuff like that. So that's difficult terrain and concealment. That's a thing you can jump to kind of add an adventurous challenge if they're wanting, if they're melee focused. Again, just kind of rock debris in the river, kind of fords there, maybe creates rapids for a little while. Alternatively, you can just take a little deck of cards and voila, bridge to get between the two nations, what have you. But this is just a very basic, whatever you would be doing for your border skirmish. you know. So, you know, I just used my headphones. These do not like to cooperate a lot, but I kind of find that the way they just naturally bend tends to work more or less. And you know, just that big gap up there, I thought, hey, that works. So you know, this guy could be running. This is actually a skeleton. I don't have many minis. Leave me alone. So you know, he could maybe jump, or just jump across. But you know, jumping here kind of it gives them an advantage of being out of melee range, but you know, within close throwing range. So, you know, throwing knives, close range stuff like that would definitely still work. Just, you know, thought I'd give you guys a quick example. One thing though is, given how close these trees are, and unlike the Lawful Nation over here, they're probably not trimmed. So a fireball back here would probably catch all of these, and then the fire would jump from tree to tree because the branches are probably intertwined. So, you know, there's that. So, you know, just very quick, very easy to make. I mean, you just set up blocks and you just pick up the blocks to get rid of them. Nice and flat, just kind of gives you an immediate visual impression and makes line of sight rolls a hell of a lot easier. So, anyways, guys, this has been Will Hoyt. Take it easy. What's up, guys? Will Hoyt coming at you with another video. This is my Ghetto Dungeon build. This is one of them. I'm actually going to show you several dungeons in this video, but this is the first one. It's pretty easy to do. I usually kind of use this as more of a just sort of cavern adventure area entrance. You see it's kind of narrow, then it goes up. These are actually pillars. You know, you can use them as cover. They're concealment. They cast shadow, and it affects, you know. So if they have a torch, most of the stuff back here probably won't be visible. You know, if anything, you can just cover with a sheet of paper. See what this the headphones represent? It's kind of like a little lake, like a pool. You know what I mean? It's most people have headphones on them, and if any of your players are smokers, I actually quit smoking several months ago. But yeah. You can probably do this pretty easily. There's enough people around the gaming table that generally smoke to be able to just, you know, pull out your pack, lay it out, I'll build the dungeon. I can't write on this, so I kind of had to improvise because it's not laminated. It's just paper. It's a nice little battle grid, though. You see, I put a little swirl in there, kind of to illustrate, like, kind of like a little whirlpool effect going on, or just, you know, like really strong tide. Same up there. It's, you know, it's just a little haver. Now the reason why this one doesn't have a cap, you see these ones are pillars, so they have caps, but that's actually a pit. It's meant to be a hazard. Just, you know, tactical hazard, so you can kick people in, or maybe, you know, the little elven sorcerer guy, just, you know, he's an elf. Into the pit with him. So, you know, this very clearly illustrates, you know, say, who's around the pit, maybe trying to rescue him. You know, maybe there's a monster, so that's an attack of opportunity, or whatever the hell your system has. So, you know, this is a pretty simple, just sort of entrance run for a dungeon. It doesn't have to have too much combat, but, you know, like, this can be treacherous to navigate. It might even require a swim check. Now, there kind of is a skinny little non-water ledge. I'd say that this part would actually be deep to add drama, but just for characters who can't swim, they have to shimmy across. And, you know, like, for maybe an archer or something, they can kind of have like a little overwatch over here. So it's, you know, it's useful to do that. And, you know, any small straight object, even pens or whatever, can be used as substitutes for cigarettes in this case. But, you know, this is just a quick example dungeon. There will be more with more materials, but I think that's good for this video. So, pillar, water, you know, dungeon walls. Obviously, it doesn't actually connect, but you know, you can pretty much just tell them or just drop their characters there. And, you know, if you want it to be shorter, you could do it going across. This is just my quick little ghetto dungeon build. I see a lot of people making these videos on how to make these nice, elaborate dungeons, and, you know, I kind of like mine crooked looking because that's how a cave looks. I've never seen, like, these straight, narrow-cut caves. No. Now, some people might be uncomfortable because, you know, it's like got jagged. It's all jagged on the side. It, you know, it doesn't line up evenly with the squares. That's kind of the point. You know, caves don't look like that. So, you know, just quick little video. Thought you guys might enjoy it. Take it easy.